Hey Aries, welcome to your May 2021 general reading. It is general, so take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You may get a little, you may get a lot, you may get nothing at all. But be sure to check your sun, moon, rising, and midheaven for more information, depending on which area of life that you want to investigate or navigate. So, all right. I'm going to do a mix of Oracle and Tarot, and I'm starting off with these swatches of Chakra deck. So they're just like these cards with nice colors on them that correspond to the chakras. We're just going to kind of lay the groundwork, see what May has in store for you, Aries. And it's weird because like my deck folded super weird, and is giving me kind of crazy cards. All right, so it could be that there's a falling away of something or some information that is revealed to you, and it may come all at once, kind of like this huge download that kicks in. Things may appear to be normal 1 second, then all of a sudden, bow. There you have it, you know? Yeah, and it's 3:33 on my clock right now. Okay, so this is wild. So maybe you've been concerned about something that's been taking time, right? And either waiting for an ending or a beginning. It's all kind of the same to me, right? And it may just come as a surprise. You may just have a complete 180 of energy in some way, shape, or form. Something that you weren't expecting, and it feels really good and delightful, but at the same time, difficult to interpret once it appears. So for what it's worth. So we have dreams, we have relationships, and we have physical body. All right, so whatever it is, it could just be you're actually getting very specific and interesting dreams regarding certain relationships and things that you're carrying in your body, maybe your relationship to your body. So some of you could be having interesting dreams, whether it's stuff about your teeth, right? Like many of us have dreams about our teeth. They're tied to stories about control, right? What we believe about control, the need for control. So you could be having experiences like that popping up for you, but as well as it could just be there are certain desires that you have in terms of like the perfect relationship, whether it's with yourself or another person, or your relationship with your body, your health, physical, mental, emotional. It says physical here, but it could be any amount of those because they all do affect and show up in the physical body, especially if we've been carrying things around for a long time. It also affects the way that we care for ourselves. So there's a need to take care of yourself here. There's a need to get back in touch with your body. I'm also like getting an interesting energy coming in, but I'm not quite sure what it is right now. It's just something about cheese, So maybe you're having some cheese right now, or maybe you're like, maybe I should quit eating cheese. That could be one thing. I have no idea, but I thought that was very interesting. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have decisions. You also could think that someone or something is very cheesy. I don't know, but we have decisions here at the bottom of the deck. And so it's like there's certain decisions that you're unwilling to make, or you feel like have probably already been made for you. And that is causing maybe you to feel more separate from your desires, and I keep saying this in a lot of readings, dissociating from reality to some degree. But either way, it's like whatever it is the way that you're looking at it is in no way in line with what it actually is. Kind of like when I was talking about when I was shuffling those cards, it's like something reveals itself and it's kind of confusing at first, but then it makes sense, right? Then it's like interpreted and then we roll with it and it's all good. And then everything's like back into play. That's what I'm feeling for you this month, Aries. It's very interesting energy. So let's see what else we've got going on here. Oh, see, yeah, these cards are acting wild with you. It's just this it's like half of the deck kind of flips and then a card comes out. And so it's like something changes and then something is revealed. So it's like, yeah, all right. So it could be toward the end of the month, maybe even June, because it keeps happening when I pull like the last card or the last two cards. So it could mean 3 weeks, it could mean 3 months, it could mean, but I'm really feeling the kind of that eclipse season, essentially. Oh my gosh, eclipse season. Duh. Okay, so this is a duh for me because I'm like, why didn't I like put two and two together until now? But anyways, we're moving past that. We have the Six of Swords, we have the Three of Wands, and we have the Empress card here. It's interesting. So the Six of Swords almost seems like a memory. Like looking at the colors, it seems kind of like some type of flashback where you were able to guide people through situations, through hardships, or maybe there was someone who was able to guide you that served as some type of role model, right? And then you're here in this Three of Wands card, maybe thinking about that as you're figuring out what the next steps are. Also, maybe there's someone or something that's far away that you're hoping to get back in touch with or be back around. And this Empress card is indicating to me that there is some energy or some force that is willing to help create the space to make that a reality for you. It's almost like a fairy godmother energy. So I feel like someone here, like, you know, whether it's a situation or something that happens, you know, that weird 180 shuffling thing that I was talking about, it's like this fairy godmother energy comes in and grants your dreams and wishes. But the thing is, it's like you gotta kind of hold the best parts of whatever that energy that you're daydreaming about, and not allow it to discourage you. So trying to release that control, and like the cheese, I keep going back to the cheese. It's like maybe be cheesy, maybe be playful, you know. Also maybe on the other end, like don't take things too dramatically either, you know, because cheese is also a very like viscous substance, right? I don't know. I'm just kind of talking at that point. Here's the World card at the bottom. Totally anticipated that being down there with this Empress card. So there's just something about like maybe not feeling supported in terms of something that's ended or something that is about to begin, and being kind of in this holding, like waiting space somehow. And I feel like it's like maybe you feel like the stars aren't aligned for something, and so you're trying to figure out, okay, like trying to make all these calculations, like, okay, well, when will I be back in my group? When will the stars align? When will it be okay for me to do this? So it's something about questioning the timing of something that I feel like is coming up more than anything. And it's like when it comes to magic, when it comes to miracles, you cannot be focused on timing. You got to be focused on the feeling of it, right? Because magic is from the heart and not the mind, believe it or not. At least that's my approach to it. Anywho, let us pull some oracle cards and see what we've got going on here. All right, one sec. Also, some of you may be kind of over like living in the city or living in a very gray space, maybe thinking about decorating your space in some capacity, or things are just seem kind of dull and bland in comparison. They may seem dull and bland in comparison to what your life was, right? And I'm sorry, my phone cut off there. I'm recording, so I had to restart. So we have convention, we have choice, and we have restlessness. And it's so interesting, like with the phone cutting off, sometimes I take that as a message. So it's kind of like, there could be a moment of just kind of, I want to say like blackout, where you can't see anything. And it can be really disarming in a way and kind of shake things up, like kind of going back to shuffling those cards. Like that was really weird for me, and I kind of tuned out for a moment and then came back in. So it's some interesting shift where it's like when you're in between frames. Even it could indicate that instance between being asleep and awake is kind of what I'm feeling. And so maybe there's some type of insight there that you get, or some type of shift in energy that happens, and it's really quick, and it may be a little disorienting, but it ends up somehow providing this like magical window of opportunity that I'm feeling. Or there's something that happens and you're just like, I can't believe this. And that's what, you know, like is the catalyst for all of these other events. So with convention and choice here, I feel like, you know, you got exactly what you wanted, but there was something surprising that like kind of with this choice that was like out of the box. It's like, maybe you felt like the scales weren't in your favor, and you feel like you've lost some type of pride in a situation. And it's like you want to save face in some capacity, and that's why you just want this thing so badly. And with this restlessness card, it can indicate that there's a lot that needs to be healed and kind of worked through and processed. And you could get exactly the medicine that you need, is what I'm feeling here. And for those of you that may be recovering from something, it's almost like a nice bounce back. Maybe there's like some really good news that comes in. I don't really like to do health or anything like that, but that's just something that's coming up for me. Or you just know when something's gonna happen or when something's gonna fall back into place. So it's like you could be used to something that's happened before, but it's like you gotta choose a different way to look at it in order for that bam, that like crown chakra, like inspired moment to happen. Here we have the achievement card in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. And what I'm feeling here is that maybe you felt like something you've built is just not coming together, okay? And you're taking responsibility for it, but at the same time, it's keeping you from achieving something. It's keeping you from achieving just that, or maybe something adjacent to it. And so it's like you're holding back some of your talents and energy because of this feeling of self-doubt that has emerged by, according to whatever you're dreaming or ruminating on at this time, Aries. And that's not really fair. You're not really being fair to yourself here. I feel like a rebirth is on the horizon for you, but you got to be able to do some of the work and help facilitate it in some way, Aries. I'm going to pull some more cards here. So we have the Four of Pentacles, Justice in reverse, and Death card in reverse. All right. So I feel like this is something that's going to kind of, you might be your own fairy godmother in this situation, is what I'm saying here. And I feel like there's something that's just kind of like you've got a hold here, that you've got to get a hold on here, and with this Four of Pentacles and with this Justice card. And it's just like, you know, you're holding on to everything you want and kind of holding it too tightly. It's like grasping at sand. Like things need to move and be free and be adaptable, while still being able to be present and alive and all this stuff. And it's just like holding on too tightly to things makes them break and crack and makes them more susceptible to someone else coveting them or the universe trying to take it away. In some way, shape, or form. And so I feel like a sense of instability because of this holding, because of this grasping type of energy. And it's like there's a reliance on something outside of yourself that just isn't coming through, and that just it keeps falling through in some way. And it's because you're relying on it too heavily and not relying on your own magic within, like being your own fairy godmother, being in that Empress energy, being the space instead of seeking the space, if you catch my drift. So we have the Five of Swords here at the bottom. So it's like, don't rob others of their resources here, because I feel like there's a need to acquire things, but it's only going to create conflict in some way, shape, or form. So it's like, be mindful of what asks that you put out there and what you seek to grasp at or acquire, because it could end up creating some type of conflict, maybe conflict of interest that exists, or something like that, something to where maybe there's a little bit of inner conflict that ends up being perpetuated because of it, because you're acting outside of your own maybe integrity in some way, shape, or form. So that is just kind of what I'm picking up there in general. So I hope that is helpful, Aries. I feel like you've got this. We just need a little bit of adjustment. It's like there's some type of work that you have to do, and you have to kind of loosen up a bit in some way. So yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Again, my phone cut off. So last thing is that I feel like there is a certain amount of sensitivity that is blocking you being able to get clear about the situation, how it's affecting you emotionally, or what is actually going on, right? So there is, so try to not be too sensitive to what's going on, and do your best to look at things from a very balanced perspective. Do not allow your pride to get in the way, and instead do what you can to support yourself through this in a way that it's like developing some type of process, moving through it a little bit more logically, irrationally, and taking a grounded approach. It is Taurus season, so that's kind of one thing that I'm picking up from there. It could also signify maybe needing some help from like an earth sign. So just, consider that. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But just, not allowing yourself to reach a point of sensitivity that ends up making it difficult for you to move forward. So that is what I have for you, Aries. I hope it was helpful. Check back for your mid-May. Check in, like, subscribe, comment. Check the description box below if you'd like to book a session with me. Otherwise, bye for now.